Assalamu alaikum. May the 4th be with you. Yes, today is May 4th, 2025 in the Gregorian calendar. Let me see, in the Hebrew calendar it's the 6th day of IYAR, 5785 is a year in the Hebrew calendar. The Islamic calendar is the 6th of Dhul Qaeda. The year 1446 after Hijra, after the flight, after Hijra. And so, let me see, this time I said I would, I might give my name. I'm kind of hesitant because I go through so many names. I had a sheikh one time, he said, I'm the brother with 99 names. But the channel name, Zebulon Zadoq, I chose that name. Zebulon, Zebulon is one of the sons of Yaakov, or Jacob. It's one of the tribes of Israel. There's Zebulon and Issachar, are two brothers. Zebulon is more like Zevul. Zevul means abode. Like this, the fourth heaven is Zevul. The Hebrew cosmogony, I think there were the 7 heavens. There's Volon, Rakia. Rakia is the second heaven, which is, you remember, as the firmament, Rakia. And like I said, the first one is Volon, Rakia. Third one is Shahakim, grindstones, millstones that are grinding up the manna. They're grinding up the manna. The fourth heaven is Zevul. Zevul means abode. That's the fourth heaven. The Archangel Michael. There's the heavenly temple is there, and the Archangel Michael is making sacrifices. He's the high priest on that in that heaven. He's making sacrifices. The spiritual bulls, up there or something. Spiritual animals he's sacrificing. Then there's the fifth heaven, Ma'on. Then there's Makon. And then there's Aravot. There's the 7 heavens. And so, Zebulon, I can say, means abode. And so, Zadoq is from Sedek, or Sadiq. Of course, you have Sadiq in Arabic or Islam. It could mean friend. It could also mean truth, or truthfulness, or righteousness. Like sometimes a saint is called a Sadiq or Sadiq. So Zadoq is a alteration of that. And so the channel is basically, saying, it's a loose way of saying abode of righteousness. Abode of righteousness. So, and the things I'll be talking about on this channel, like I say, they'll relate to the esoteric and the paranormal. Basically, most things. I say most things because just in my years of studying and research, I've touched upon many things. Certain things I've researched and I refuse to go back to them, because I don't have an interest in them anymore, or I know that it's wrong. Like, okay, I noticed these vampire crazes that I've seen. I came across a supernatural probably in first grade. It was probably around 1969, and so I was into the the vampires and the werewolves, and all that type of stuff back from about 1969 to about 73, 74, I realized, yeah, this isn't a good thing. And then I saw the vampire craze in the late 80s, early 90s with Anne Rice, the Alephbet novels and things like that. And I think there was some series on TV. Of course, there's a Buffy Vampire Slayer and the Angel, and I think they had some other vampire series after that. But yeah, I had lost my interest in it back in the 70s, and I just realized that we're living beings, and we have no business, having any truck with the undead. We're separate. If anything, the undead feeds on the living, so we don't need to be around those things, or an obsession with those things. Anywhere where the attention is placed, the attention will draw things to it. So, and yeah, there are those among us who are that, and we want to keep them far away. So, yeah, you keep your mind on higher things, and so yeah, I don't really, and I notice that's a hot topic these days, especially with this movie that just came out. What was it called, Sinners or something? And I have to turn away from the channels as they start to mention it. So, wow, they're really upset. Okay, yeah, I understand. There's, the ability, to have control over our images and the way that we appear to the public and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I think I see the obsession people have with it. So I have to turn from that. But I guess my goal and focus is, I know that the human has practically infinite potential, and I think that we aren't tapping into nearly enough of it. Out of 100%, we're maybe at 2 or 3% at the most. We're not even, people talk about we use 10% of our brains. Well, it's more than our brains. The heart puts out a greater magnetic and electric field than the brain does. That's been, something in science, they've been talking about the heart puts out an electric field, I don't know, what is it, 10 times or 100 times greater than the brain. And the heart puts out a magnetic field about 100 times or 1,000 times greater than the brain. So yeah, and the heart is capable of thought too. Yeah, there are at least 40,000 neurons in the heart, and so it's like a small brain there. And in a lot of spiritual literature, it says you hear things like love the Lord thy God with all their heart, or it's always sucks a heart, not mind. It's his heart. So yeah, we need to learn how to tap into the heart. And the brain is good too. Probably heard Joe Dispenza talking about heart, brain coherence, having both on the same page in order to enable or potentiate manifestation, in our lives greater. So yeah, those things I'm more focused on, whether it's Kabbalah or Sufism or Christian mysticism or something in the yogic sciences of Hinduism or in the yogic sciences of Tibet, or maybe in the Nahual schools of ancient Mexico, Atlantean sciences. If we know what Atlantis is, people say that the biblical flood of Noah is the last cataclysm that sunk Atlantis, like the third out of three cataclysms. And So if that's true, everything in the Bible, everything in Genesis that is before the flood of Noah is Atlantean culture, even though most people don't recognize it as such. It's not taught as such. They did have patriarchs, that lived to be hundreds of years old. And, of course, there are other books about that time period that aren't in the Bible, especially some that deal with the birth of Melchizedek or Melchizedek. But, and at this time, I don't think I'm ready to actually give a name, but I guess I'll continue. I might have left off talking about the Otiot, or letters, for the this Hebrew month, the IYAR, which with the rising of the new moon, that's when the Hebrew and Islamic months, they start with the rising or the appearance of the new moon. And so this month, IYAR, transliteration IYAR, it correlates with Taurus. And as I said before, and it's ruled by the planet Venus. And so the Ot with the character, which is Venus, is the character. Let me see. It is Pe or Fe, which is a mouth. Looks like a backwards C with a little thing hanging down, indicating like a tooth. It's a mouth. And then there's the Vav right next to it. It was like a nail. So those are the two glyphs to meditate on for this month. And so you can find this in the Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation. It's attributed to the patriarch Abraham. Some people debate whether or not it is by him or not, but that's the tradition. And when there's also another exercise in that text which talks about a meditation where you could visualize the letters of the Hebrew Alephbet, the Otiot of the Alephbet, in a circle around you. And, once you learn to master that, it can activate abilities of telekinesis, telepathy, and things, but you have to get to the stage where you can actually visualize all of them around you at the same time. And so I was going to propose, there is one possibly with the Otiot of the months, and I could talk about that in the next video. But I hope that you found this of some interest, and I would please ask that you like and subscribe and share. And these videos will only get better with time. And once again, may the 4th be with you. So long.